Today on our 2011 Hyundai Genesis, we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install the CURT Class 2 Trailer Hitch Receiver, part number C12086. This is what our hitch looks like when it's installed. The cross tube is visible, however it does have a rounded curve to it to match the contour of the vehicle. It's going to be a Class 2, it's going to be 1.25 inches by 1.25 inches. Hitch pinhole is going to be 1/2 inch in diameter. It's going to have a plate style safety chain hookup. You can see the safety chain loops are good size to accept different size safety chain hooks. It does have a reinforced collar on the receiver tube to give it a little extra stability. This hitch also comes with its own pin and clip. This hitch is going to have a 350-pound max tongue weight, which is the downward pressure on the inside of the receiver tube. And it's going to have a 3,500-pound max trailer weight, which is your trailer plus your load included. Now, I do recommend checking your owner's manual to make sure your vehicle can withstand that amount of weight, and you're going to want to pick the lowest number between your vehicle and the hitch. Now, CURT does require the use of stabilization straps for any non-wheeled loads. Now we will give you a couple measurements to help you when deciding on any hitch-mounted accessories you may need, such as a bike rack or cargo carrier. From the center of the hitch pinhole to the outermost part of the bumper will be about 5 inches. From the ground to the top innermost part of the receiver tube will be about 8.5 inches. Now it's a good idea to get a raised shank for better ground clearance. Now let's show you how to get this installed. So to begin our installation, we're going to have to lower our exhaust. Now we're going to have 4 hangers. You're going to have one here on the passenger side. We're going to have one in the same location on the driver's side. And then we're going to have one here and one here. We're going to take some lubrication. You can also use soapy water, and we're going to spray the hangers. Next, we'll take a pry bar, and you want to get in behind the rubber isolator. And we're just going to pry it off from here. Next, we need to remove our heat shields on both sides of the vehicle. We're going to have 6 nuts to take off. Take a 10mm socket. And we're going to set these aside to be trimmed. Now, this is going to be the difficult part of the installation. This is where you're probably going to need 2 extra people to help you out. Now, we put it on jack stands to show you how it works. You can see up here, I've marked a line. I've also done that on the other side. What we need to do is your hitch needs to be flat up against the bottom of the frame. It also needs to be as far back towards the back of the vehicle as possible. I went ahead and marked it on both sides of the vehicle just in case I get offline. And I've all gone ahead and marked my holes also. One thing I do want to mention is right here on the back side of this frame, it changes elevation. So it's going to drop a little bit here from here. You want to make sure that the hitch is as far back toward the back of the vehicle as possible, but you don't want to be on this angle. You want it to be flat up against the bottom of the frame. Once you have everything marked on both sides of the vehicle, you can go ahead and take your hitch down and drill out your holes. I advise you to verify and make sure your line and your holes are all lined up and you're not up on this lip here. Then we're going to center punch the center of all of our marks so that we make sure when we drill the hole, we're drilling in the center. And we'll do that with all of them. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to drill our holes. First, we're going to drill a pilot hole in the center. We're going to do that same thing with the other side. Next, we're going to take a 17/32 drill bit and we're going to open our holes up to that size. We want to go just a little bit bigger than the 1/2 inch bolts that we're going to be putting in. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of spray paint. I'm going to spray that on each hole to cover up that bare metal. Just kind of help it keep it from rusting. While our paint's drying, we're going to go ahead and remove this cover here over this hole. You're going to have another one on the other side of the vehicle. Next thing we need to do is we need to take one of our carriage bolts, and you want to make sure that the head of it is going to fit through this hole. As you see, it's not going to. So we're going to have to open this hole a little bit. We can just take a grinder or maybe a file and just file the edge on both sides enough to where you can fit it in sideways like this. Once you get it wide enough, it should slide right up in there. Just like that. Now again, I'm going to take some spray paint. I'm going to spray that spot that I scraped off. I'm going to do that on both sides of the vehicle. Next, we're going to take our pull wire and we're going to go through the hole. You're going to put the spring in and you're going to come out like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our spacer block. We're going to put it on first. Go ahead, push it up into the hole. Then we'll take our carriage bolt and we're going to thread it onto the end of our pull wire. You want to make sure that your bolt comes out all the way. What happened there was my spacer block turned sideways and it wasn't dropping down all the way. So you want to make sure you see that much bolt in there. And then we're going to repeat that for the 3 remaining holes. Next, for the next set of hands, we'll go ahead and put our hitch into place. Now you want to make sure, because your kit only comes with 2 pull wires, that you raise it up gently so you don't push your bolts back up into your frame. And we're going to take a flange nut and put it on our bolts. Once you have all your hardware installed, you take a 3/4 inch socket and tighten everything down. Once you have everything tight, you're going to want to torque it down to the specifications and the instructions. And you're going to do that on all remaining hardware. And per the instructions, we need to cut out part of our heat shield on both sides of our vehicle. Now we'll just take some metal shears and cut our marked spot out. Next, we're going to want to take out this little rubber plug here. Now we'll check our cut for our heat shield. Once you get your heat shield in place, you can replace your hardware. Now that we have our hitch installed, both of our heat shields cut out and installed, now we can put our exhaust back up. We're going to start on the ones furthest forward on the vehicle first. Go ahead and spray them down again with some lubricant or soapy water, whichever you're using. And that'll do it for the CURT Class 2 Trailer Hitch Receiver, part number C12086 on our 2011 Hyundai Genesis.